Hi everybody, it's Imogen. Welcome back to Colouring Kit. I'm back from my grandparents now and I thought it would be the perfect time to do my completed pages for July and August, seeing as it's the 1st of September. I've got quite a few books to show you and this is probably going to be longer than my usual videos because it's 2 months combined. The reason I didn't do July was because I was away at the time and it was the middle of August by the time I got back, so I didn't really see the point of doing it. But I have got lots of books to show you, so it is probably going to be a long video, so yeah, let's just get started. So the first book, this is a buddy colour page that I did with Lisa, and it was the fairy picture. I used Wink of Stella and my clear glitter jelly roll pen on some of the butterflies and her wings and accents in the background, and then I used a Uniball Signo Silver roughly on these flowery type things on her dress. I mostly used Prismacolor and Holbein on this page, I think. Holbein mainly for the leaves, and then I use some Prismacolor colours that I don't usually use, like the Process Red and things like that. But I'm really happy with this page, and I'm really happy that I got to do it as a buddy colour with Lisa. And don't worry at all if you haven't finished yours yet, Lisa, we didn't put a time frame on it, so yeah, that is how it turned out and I really like it. Okay, the next book is the Illustrated Compendium of Amazing Animal Facts by Marja Safstrom. This is the lady who did these postcards. If you remember, I got them. I've done 2 pages in here. One of them, which I'll show you first, is kind of cheating because I literally did nothing to it, but it still is a completed page, double page, and this is the beaver. All I did to this was I added some pink and various colours to its ears and mouth area, and then I just got a Uniball Signo Silver gel pen and did some extra accenting here. These dots and things were already there for the texture, but basically this book gives you loads and loads of facts and things, and I just wanted to do a really quick thing. It literally took me 10 minutes, so that is what I did, and I can't wait to do more of the animals. But the other page I did was kind of the beginner page, and this was a bouquet of various plants and berry things. So what I was using here was I was trying out my Crayola metallic pens. This was on holiday, so I coloured it with just ordinary pencils. I think I used mainly my Eco pencils and Prismacolor or Holbein, and I just coloured in the bits, and then I went over with my Uniball Signo Silver gel pen, and then I used the gold, the blue and the silver of the Crayola to go over accents. I love how it turned out. Oh, and the pink. And yeah, it was just, again, a really, really quick one. So I'm hoping that this will be one of those books that I can just come to and quickly do a picture, and it will still turn out really nice, and it will be a book that hopefully I will start to fill up over time. The next book I have is 100 Hugs by Chris Riddle. I did 1 page in here and it literally took me 10 minutes to do, and it was the panda, and I had a few greens out and I just got a grey colour and a black colour, and I just went over a couple of these areas, added a bit of shading on its face with a bit of pink too, you can't even really see, and then I think I grabbed about 3 different greens and I just did the bamboo leaf type thing in the background. So I was really happy with how this one turned out. It was a really quick one. This book again is one which you can just do a really quick page in, and they turn out really well. So that is 100 hugs. I'm just going to take my cardigan off. It's really warm and it's sunny, so I'm sorry if there's a bit of a glare. I can try and... there we go. Okay. The next book is the Disney Princess colouring book, which I got on holiday at Disneyland, and I did complete a picture. I started it on holiday and it took me like 3 weeks after to come back to it. I did it when the Disney Colour-a-thon was going on. So this is Ariel. And it was really nice actually to search up the different characters and try and make it as realistic as possible. I'm really happy with how her tail came out. This took me forever to go over with the Uniball Signo, and even though it's classed as the best white gel pen, I still had a bit of trouble with it starting and stopping on me, and I think I need to try and find a thicker white pen. I've tried Posca before and I find them a bit watery, so if you can recommend a thick white pen that's opaque, that would be a great help. But yeah, I really enjoyed colouring all the animals around her as well. I think these seahorse creatures, they are coloured the colour that they're meant to be, I think, and then the turtle, I think the green was maybe a little bit different, but I wanted it to be basically the same as her just so that everything tied in. But overall I'm really happy with this one, and I didn't really fuss about it too much. I didn't make her hair look realistic. I just wanted to colour, and I am happy with it. So that is that one. The next one is a book that Auntie Lynn gave to me. This is In the Forest, and this is a perforated spiral bound book, and I've done one page in here because I was testing out my Crayola pencils. And this is entirely Crayola, and I was really impressed with how they performed. This literally took me about an hour, probably. Not long at all. I was expecting the leaves to take me a lot longer and all of the brown and things, but it didn't. And I am really happy with how it turned out. All I used to accent was a Uniball Signo silver gel pen, and that's a change for me because if I'm accenting, I will probably add glitter, but I didn't. And yeah, I just went over some of the dots and things that were already there. I added a few of my own details, but I'm really happy with how that turned out. And what I'm planning on doing, maybe, seeing as it's perforated and things like that, I am thinking of maybe colouring these in and using them for collaging or for cards and stuff like that, because you've got the birds there, there's mushrooms, I think, there's vegetables. So it's a great one. There's the mushrooms, but there's a lot of things that I can do with this book, and I'm really glad that I've completed my first page in it. Okay, next, I seem to be going through these quite quickly, but I guess that's just because I've only had a couple of pages done in those ones. I've done lots of pages in a few books. Okay, we have A Million Unicorns, Magical Creatures to colour by Lulu Mayo. I haven't coloured in A Million Sloths yet, but I did colour in this one. This was completed a couple of days ago. This was a really quick one. I did it whilst we were watching Jurassic World, I think. It was just completed in an evening. I wanted to colour the unicorns so that I knew what I wanted them to look like throughout the book. So I have gone for kind of a beigey colour, and then their saddles and things are a yellowy bronzy colour, and then the hair is either going to be blue or pink. And what I did with those was I used my blue and pink Jelly Roll Stardust, and I used on the horn, oh my god, not the horn, yes, the horn, sorry, I'm going mad. I used a clear Jelly Roll Stardust, and then I used a blue glaze just to go over it. You can't really see, but I'm really happy with how this one turned out, and I know now what colours they are going to be in the future. So that's A Million Unicorns. I completed 2 pages in Fantastic Zoo this month. Not as many as I would have liked to, but I didn't really get round to it or feel that I specifically wanted to, I was really drawn to a picture that I really wanted to do, so I just went with it, and I did 2 pictures. So the first one I did was for Christmas in July. This was the reindeer, and I am happy with how this one turned out actually. I was trying to branch off from using the same browns that I always use, so I added a bit of a reddish tint into it, which I think worked quite well, and I really liked doing the antlers, and the decorations and things I think tie in really nicely, and it didn't take me too long. I think I had started just the antler and then I came back to it ages after, I just did, I'm not sure why. And then I'm going to do the polar bear close to Christmas and probably close-ish to my birthday, because they're only about a month apart, so because they're my favourite animal, it will be really nice to do closer to the Christmas period. So this is for Christmas in July. And yeah, just the basic sort of thing with the pastel in the background. The other page I did was this alpaca. A bit less interesting in terms of colour, but I always try to keep these as realistic as possible. So it was either a brown colour or a greyish colour, and I went with the grey beige colour because I use brown a lot, and I thought as well it ties in nicely with my donkey here. The donkey's more of a browny warm grey type colour, and this is more of a light French grey, but I really like how this turned out actually. I left a bit of white edging just to, I don't know, show that it's a bit maybe fluffy or 3D, and then I used the same sorts of colours that I always do. The background's not very exciting, but I didn't really have many colours that would fit with the alpaca's colour palette, but I just went with what I had, and I'm pleased with how it turned out, and I'm slowly filling up this book, so it's lovely flipping through all the pages. I'm still, you know, trying to take my time with them. I don't just want to rush it to get a book finished. I want to take my time and enjoy them, so I'm going to come back to it when I feel like it. Okay, the next 3 books are my last books, but I've coloured lots of pages in each of them. So we'll start with mein Spaziergang durch die Jahreszeiten by Rita Berman, and you can see all of the tags there. I've completed quite a few. I'll just go in order. So this one, I was testing out a 24 set of Artist Loft pencils that Auntie Lynn got me at Michael's, and I am amazed how they performed. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think I used 2 colours for each flower and then another colour, so I think I used about 7 of the colours, and I am really pleased with how they look. So I did the blue, the pinky purple, and then the vermilion cream colour. I like the colour palette because it's things I wouldn't usually use. I could have maybe toned down that reddish colour a bit and maybe made it a bit more pinky, but I really like it actually. For the details, I went in with a gold jelly roll, gold metallic jelly roll on the middles and on these dots here, and then I used a orange glitter stardust on the vermilion ones, pink on the pink and blue on the blue, and then I just went in with a silver Uniball Signo and just did dots randomly on the flowers just to accent it even more. But I really like this one, and I like how it's scented. It took me about an hour, really simple, and I'm pleased with the result. This one, you may be thinking that this is quite similar, and that is because I tried to replicate Steph's interpretation of this page. She is Red Tifa on YouTube, Red Tifa Colours. I didn't copy it entirely. I tried to do the background as closely as she did, although I think her shades were slightly different. And then I went in with her technique of going over with the white gel pen. I didn't make them quite as fluffy as she did. I wanted to kind of keep the black lines in, but I love how she did hers, and I didn't exactly manage to do what she did. And then I went in with I don't even think I have it. It's my Pentel black gel pen, so it's just a standard black gel pen, and I didn't have a thicker one, and I actually think it worked really well. I went in and coloured in this baby swan just like she did, and yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. I was really worried about using a black pen in case it went through, but nothing went through, so I was really impressed. And then the rest of it was filled in with some Crayola, some Prismacolor, some polychromos, various other pencils, but I am very happy with this one, and I want to thank Steph for doing the page because I absolutely loved it, and that I had the chance to replicate it. Now this is one of my favourites. This double page spread I started, and then I kind of left it, I came back, and then I just finished it one evening in Canada. I had started it about 2 weeks before, and it was the night actually that I had got the Crayolas, and I just decided to finish it. So all I had done was some of the feathers and the birds and the berries, and that was it, and I finished the whole thing in a very short space of time. Sometimes when I'm just in the mood, I just do it, and I am still very happy with the result. I only used glitter on the ladybird there, and that's it. Although I did go in on these birds with the orange, I don't think you can see, the orange glitter jelly roll and the gold. But the other accenting things I used was my Uniball Signo, the umbrella. I love how the umbrella turned out, and the eggs as well. But I used that for lots of the details. And one of the other things, and the gold Crayola metallic pen. The other thing I'm really happy with on this page is the slight bits of background that I did. So I went in with 2 Holbeins, and I did background bits here and along here, and I just kind of did it as I went. I didn't have any particular places, I kind of just did it, but I thought it was so busy anyway, I didn't want to do a full background, so I just did a bit instead, which I think worked out well. Okay, the next one I did was these trainers, and I was wanting to do this page for a while, but I didn't really know how to do it, but I knew I wanted them to be blue, so I started out with the trainers, and then everything kind of just came, and I did the trainers separately, and then I just completed everything else very quickly. The trainers have the navy jelly roll glitter stardust on them, and then you can't really see, but I use the blue jelly roll glaze on these laces. It's kind of got a little glistening effect there, and then the clear one on the bottom, which you definitely can't see because of the light, and then everything else was mainly the Prismacolors and the Faber-Castell Eco pencils, and then I used the clear jelly roll stardust on the butterfly and on the ladybird. But I love this one, and it didn't take me very long. Most of these were done in America or Canada. This one was all Crayola. I did this when I came back, and it may look slightly fainter than the others, but I think that was mainly the colours I chose. I don't think that they are less vibrant than other pencils. I think it was just the colours I chose, but I absolutely love how this turned out. I didn't use a blender pencil, I just did straight colouring, and I think that they have worked really well, and I'm fairly happy with the colour palette that I chose. The only accenting that I did was with the Signo silver in some places, and then I don't think the lighting's going to show it, but on the windows and the doors, I went in with my clear Jelly Roll glaze in there, but I think that looks quite effective. You can't really see it, but yeah, I love how this one turned out. And the last page I did, well, actually it was the first of all of these that I did. This was in July. This was for Christmas in July, and this was a whip forever. I started it right at the beginning, and I didn't finish it until probably like 2/3 of the way. It was about 3 weeks. I started it and then I came back to it and then I just finished it. But I think because there were so many different snowflakes, it was hard to keep track of all of the pencils that I'd use for them, so I had to improvise a bit. But we have mainly Prismacolors and Holbein and Eco pencils. And all of the accenting is a Pentel Silver Glitter Gel Pen, a Uniball Signo Silver Gel Pen, a clear Jelly Roll Stardust, and that is it, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard keeping track of all of these, but yeah, that is this page, and I'm happy with how this one turned out. There are many others that I could have done, but there are some that I really want to save for Christmas, so that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, I can't wait to start the autumn pictures in this book now, because I've done a lot at the front of the book and not many towards the back. Okay, my second to last book, The Flower Year, I have again done lots of pictures in. I don't know how many are there, but we have lots of pictures, and I'm going to start with the first two that I did. These were pictures that I started and finished at the start of my holiday. So this one I had on the plane to America, and I finished it a couple of days after, or actually, I think I finished this one on the plane, and then I started doing the daisies and things on this side because it was the same sort of thing. And these were so tiring to do, I'm not going to lie, because there's just so much detail and I really want them to turn out well, so I do take my time with these. So yeah, they did take a long time. I didn't finish this one until the journey back. I was still working on it when we were flying home, so it was a on and off project because I didn't want to rush it, but I was still, you know, getting frustrated because I was kind of getting nowhere with them, even though I was spending quite a lot of time on them. So I just came back to it when I wanted to, and I finally did get them done. But I love how they turn out, and I think they work well together. Of course, these have the primroses and the coltsfoots, which they don't have on this page, so I tried to, obviously I wanted to do them realistically, but I think the pages work quite well together. Okay, this is probably my favourite page that I did in this book this month, or these past few months, but I did do it in August, and this is the Blue Tits. Now, the overall page didn't take me long at all. I think I did it within 3 or 4 days. The thing that did take me long was the Blue Tits. I used Holbein for the Blue Tits, and then I used Holbein and Crayola, actually. I was testing them together for the rest of the page. But yes, these Blue Tits did take me a while. Even though I only had 12 pencils, I really wanted to make them look good, and so I was trying to make them look a bit furry. I was layering and really trying to make these look good. So we have a bit of green here, which is kind of meant to be underneath the blue, and here it looks like there's a huge mark there, but that's how their bellies actually look, with a kind of black spot there. So I tried to replicate that, but overall I am so proud of this page. I never really, when I colour birds, I never really do them realistically, but this book is just making me do that. I just want them to look really good. So I do really like these, and they're quite bright colours, and they're not ones that I usually use, but I think knowing that I want to do them realistically, it makes me use those colours, and I actually really enjoy using them for a change. So yeah, that's this page, and I can't wait to do. I think there's a few more birds in here somewhere, but I can't wait to do them. So we will see. But yeah, I love that one. Okay, this was a really quick page I did just before I did the daisy page. This was to test out the daisies. I didn't want to jump straight into a huge page before trying them out, so this is just a simple daisy, and I really liked how this one turned out, and that didn't take long. Okay, this page I completed in July, I believe. This one was a work in progress, literally for ages too. I think I started it about, all in all, I think it was about a month. I started by doing the, what are they called? The snakehead fritillaries and the bluebells. I did a couple on stream. Actually, I think it must have been a month and a half at least. Oh, and by the way, I don't know how to work my streams, so if someone can help me on how to do it, they've changed the settings around and I don't know how to do it, so for now there is no streaming, unfortunately. Anyway, so I started out by doing those, and then I kind of came back to doing the bluebells and the fritillaries. I was getting really bored because there were so many bluebells, and then I left it, and then I came back to it one evening and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to finish it. I think I'd done some of these bright green leaves as well, and I was worried at first that they were a bit bright for the page, but what I did was I used those in other places too, like here with these leaves, which I actually really like, but I used it in other places so it blended in, and overall I think it was a bit of a adventurous page, just because I know the bluebells aren't really meant to have pink. The stalks of the bluebells wouldn't be blue, but I kind of wanted to play around with it a bit just because it was so detailed and I needed to do something with it and I needed to finish it. So that's that one. This was one I think I completed about a week and a half ago. This is the Painted Lady Butterfly, and when I searched up this butterfly ages ago when I first saw it in the book, I was disappointed that it was just orange and black, blacky brown, because, you know, it's not the most exciting colours. I mean, compared to the peacock butterfly here, it's not very exciting, but I decided to colour this one evening. I used Crayolas for this one, and I was actually surprised at the amount of depth I could get into it and how much fun I had actually using these colours, because I don't use orange a whole lot. I use brown a lot. Obviously, it's one of the colours that we most use, I think, apart from green. But I'm really happy with how it turned out, actually. I used a Uniball Signo white gel pen for these accents, and I went over the edge here with the white because they're meant to have the white there. So I thought that was quite interesting, but I'm really happy with this one. And it did take a while, believe it or not, but I do like how it turned out, and I'm glad that there was a spot of green that's meant to be there on their like the middle of their body. But yeah, that is that one. Okay, these next two pages were completed a while ago. This July page was completed pretty much from the 1st of July. It took me about a week to do. Actually, more than that. I would probably say a week and a half. And these flowers, I can't even remember what they're called now. These flowers did take a while. It doesn't look like I've done a whole lot of shading on them, but that's just the lighting, and I actually used quite a few colours for them. I'm really happy with the foxgloves. I love the colour of them. I love using those purple colours. And then the leaves didn't take very long because there was only about 3 different types of leaves, so I just played around with those. I added a bit of purple leaves, which obviously you don't get really, but I just decided to put them in. I'm really annoyed, I got a little mark there which I can't get off. But yeah, that's that one for July. June is still my favourite. It's still my favourite month picture that I've done, but I still worked really hard for this one, and I am still happy with how it turned out. And this one I really like. It was very simple, obviously, with just the 4 bugs, and this is a colour of butterflies that I have done a lot. You might have seen in other pictures. I have used this a lot. I toned down the white gel pen a bit just because I don't really use the gel pen much in this book, but I did use it a bit. And then on these dragonflies, I loved doing the bodies so much with the aqua colour. It's so unlike me to use those sorts of colours, but I loved using them. And you'll see that these are kind of glossy and shiny in the light. That's because I went over all of them with glaze, the Jelly Roll Glaze colour. Oh my gosh, gel pen. And I've decided for all of the bugs in this book, I'm going to use the glaze so that they stand out. And then we have August, and I do quite like this one. It took a while to do, and also because I was on holiday, I didn't have a whole lot of time. I used the Artist Loft pencils for most of it, although I added in some Holbeins with them for the leaves, and I am happy with how they worked, and I love the colour. I just don't think, I mean, I tried to do them as realistically as possible with the leaves as well. I just don't think the colours really fit together, but that's not, obviously they're meant to be those colours, so I didn't really want to change it, so I just kept it how they were meant to look. And yeah, that's that one. But it's probably my least favourite of the templates things that I've done, but we don't like every single page that we do, but I still enjoyed doing it. Okay, and the last one is a whip that I literally have hardly done any of. I need to halt this one because I am going to start the September template soon. I know obviously it's September already, but hopefully I will get to this one at some point. But I've literally just started these flowers. I've done nothing. It's meant to be this way because it's a like bouquet for September. Interestingly, there was a page that I saw someone do on Instagram that is apparently from this book, and I absolutely loved it, and I don't know if it is in here. Sorry, let me just have a quick flip through because that looked really nice, but I think, oh no, it's there. This one was coloured beautifully. If you go on Layla Dooley's Instagram, she showed this one. I can't remember who coloured it, but it was stunning. It was amazing, and it just looks so effective. And I didn't realise, I thought it was from Flora Banda, but it was not. Ugh, I can't get my words out. It's not. The only thing I do want to start is maybe doing the acorns at some point. I know they're in October, but I'm going to try and get the September one done first, but that is the flower year. And my final book, which may be a surprise for some people, is Schematige. Now, I haven't worked in this book for a while. The last page I did, if I can find it, oh, it's right there, was this one. I did this probably around May, and I said if I was to work in this book, you know, I said I'm probably not going to work in this book most because I would be working in Dream Reese because I'm trying to work in that kind of in order. But I don't know, I just had a sudden decision that I wanted to work in this loads, so I just started working on it at my grandparents', and I whizzed through quite a few pages. So I'll just show you them. I ran out of green tags, so we have blue now. So yeah, let's just start. So this page I didn't do at my grandparents'. It was kind of the one that got me back into this book. I was testing my Crayolas, and I also used... Oh no, I did just use Crayolas. But I did use a Uniball Signo white gel pen, an orange Jelly Roll Stardust, and the gold metallic Jelly Roll. I can't believe how many times I've said Jelly Roll in this video, jeez. But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. It was simple, and I like that it's centered. I really like centered pages. Now this one looks like it would take a long time, but I did this in a day. This was the only day out of all of them that we were at my grandparents' where it rained. So we did go swimming, but at a swimming pool, not at the beach. But it was kind of a chilled stay-in day, and I managed to get the whole of this done. I started out with the skin and her hair. That's what took a long time, and then everything else was kind of very quick. Also, because we had a movie night that night, I managed to colour the other stuff whilst we were watching those. So I'm actually pleased with how the skin turned out. I haven't had too much practice with skin, as you know. The sun is starting to go down ever so slightly, so it may be a tiny bit darker, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, the hair I was worried about just because it looked very detailed, but I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I think it looks fairly realistic. I then moved on to doing the wings and the flowers and the butterflies. The wings didn't take me long at all. I thought they would take me ages, but I just coloured them, and then I went over with a clear glitter jelly roll on the wings and the butterflies, a white Uniball Signo gel pen on the... I am losing my words today. On the petals and the flowers over there, and then I used my blue Jelly Roll glaze to add dots. I don't know what's wrong with my glaze. I don't think it's meant to be that dark, but it just is. But I liked how it accented this picture actually. That's that one, and that's the first person that I've done in this book, and there are quite a few in here. Okay, this page was a fairly simple one, although it was the one that took me the longest to do, even though it was probably one of the more simple ones. But these flowers here, you might not be able to see in the light, but what I've done is I've done blue, a bluey purple, and then a purple, a kind of pinky purple, and then a pink, and I have transferred it all the way up. And the leaves were really simple. I just used 3 or 4 colours, and the bird was just a couple of blues. And then I went over all the middles of those flowers with the Uniball Silver gel pen. And I love the pictures on the black backgrounds, and it just makes everything pop. And I'm pleased with this one. In fact, I'm pleased with all the pictures that I've done in this book. This one is my most recent one that I finished. I finished it yesterday. I did this in a day too. The roses took me a while, but I wanted to make them look like the rose that I did here. This is one of my favourite pages that I've done because I love the foxgloves as well. But I really loved how I did this rose, and I wanted them to look as similar to that as possible. So I think I basically used the same colours, and the same colours for the leaves too, and then I just did pink birds instead. Lots of these pages have these birds in, and I really like them because they're not too realistic, and I don't have to worry about making them really realistic. But that's that one, again on a black background. Okay, this was like the first one that I did at my grandparents', but the second picture that I did in this book this month. This one was with mainly Faber-Castell Classics and Ecos. I was layering a lot with the little dormouse, and I didn't use a blender pencil or anything like that. This was also a nice one because it was kind of bringing me into the autumn season. Obviously because it's got the berries, and I made the leaves a bit brown. Again, this is on a black background, and I love how the colours pop. This one, again, was completed in a day, and I love the colour of the tulips, and this one was really fun. It didn't take me long at all. I remember I was doing this whilst we were watching the finale of Keeping Faith. I added glitter to these cute bumblebees. They're so cute, I love them. And then I used a Pentel glitter gel pen. I used a Uniball silver gel pen and a white gel pen to do some dots and things like that, and then the clear glitter gel. Have I already said clear glitter gel pen? Oh my god. And then, yeah, the clear glitter gel pen on these flowers and the spiderweb. And I like how the spiderweb glistens. I think it just breaks it apart from everything else. And you know, in the rain, they kind of look a bit glistery too. So there's that one. And the final one that I did was this one. And I kind of had to change up this page a bit because I got a little mark, like a smudge up here. It was just a line, and originally I hadn't had these shooting star things, but I had to add in just so that the smear didn't look odd, and it has covered the smear, so that is what I did to save the page. I used mainly Holbeins for this page, Holbein and Prismacolor. I used an orange glitter jelly roll and a gold metallic jelly roll for these star things, and I love this sea dragon thing. I think it's so cute, and I love how the egg turned out and its body. I went over with a Wink of Stella for its wings. I think that's the best glittery thing to use for wings. And then I wanted to accent his little stubbly bits on its body, so I used the gold metallic jelly roll again on that, and then some white gel pen just to do some dots on the water lily. But yeah, that is everything in this book. I've done about 25 pages now in this book. That's more than a quarter of the way, so I'm really proud of myself for coming back to this book because I never really thought I would. So hopefully I will do some more in this, but that is everything. So you can just see what I worked in. I hope you've enjoyed this video. This has been a very long video, and I'm going to try and render it down so it doesn't take too long to upload, but hopefully it'll be up in the next couple of days. But yeah, that is everything. I worked in quite a few books. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to comment down below and tell me any book recommendations or videos you would like to see. If you had a recommendation for a video and I haven't done it yet, I would really appreciate you reminding me, just because I did write them down but I've put them somewhere and I remember some of them, but I need to just put them together somewhere. So if you put a video suggestion down, please just comment it again for me, and I apologise for not doing it sooner. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video on Colouring Kid. Bye everyone!